and it closed everything and opened it back. Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Altadena Talks. We are at season 6, episode 259, and I am one of your co-hosts, Brian Bacchus.
I'm another Jamal Smith.
I'm Tony.
And here we are again for another exciting episode. So, how was you guys' weekend?
Super chill for me. Watched a lot of football. Actually. All those games were really good except for the last one.
Yeah, that was garbage.
I mean, they were all close.
Yeah. They all determined by the last play.
Yep.
Yeah, except for the Chargers. They failed. I'm like, come on. E-Dub, what's up with your team, man? I needed them to win so that we wouldn't have to play the Broncos if we win. Notice I said if we win tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Y'all play tonight.
Yeah.
What's up, Marcus?
Everybody waiting on us. I hate that. I like to be first, not last.
Well, I was sad that my daughter's Eagles lost because they gave away the game to Bang Bang Niner game.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I was sad about that for her. I haven't even talked to her, but a couple weeks ago, because I support my kids, right? My team Titans been out of it. Haven't been in the running or anything all year. I think we won 3 games. So, but then it's like, oh, I'll support my kid. And I watched the game a couple weeks ago, and I was screaming at the TV the whole time at the Eagles. And I was like, what are you doing? And all this. And I called her and I was like, what is going on with your team? And she was like, oh, Mom, that's normal for Eagles fans. I was like, this is some baloney. And she was like, welcome to Eagles world. I said, no, because I can never be an Eagles fan if it has me this stressed out. Like the dumbest little mistakes. And, you know, that you see, she said, this is nothing new. This is normal for Eagles. I was like, but then they be pulling out wins.
Like 7 years, haven't they been to the Super Bowl like 3 times?
Yeah, but if you watch, and she told me, Mom, if you watch, we pull out wins miraculously, but the whole time Eagles fans are stressed while they're watching their Eagles play. And she even went to the game. True. Yeah, she went to the game here recently that was at SoFi. And one time a year or two ago when she was in Philly, she went to a game there. And it's just like, I said, there's no way that I could be an Eagles fan because I would lose it. Like, you know, everybody gets excited. Oh, yeah, whatever. But the whole game, she said, it's like that all the time. And it's been that way for decades. She said, even when Kelly was the coach or, you know, all these different. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So I watched them yesterday in support of my child. And it was another stressful, dumb loss thing that they did.
I didn't even see the end of it. How did it end? You said they gave it away.
Yeah, it was picked in the last 40 seconds or whatever. Oh. And so they were down by like 2 points. And they were like at Carolina. The 15 or 20 or somewhere in that range, 25 maybe. Mm-hmm. And he threw it and it got picked. The dude was like almost in the end zone and there were 3 Niners around him. And it got tipped.
Triple teamed.
Yeah, it got tipped. None of them caught it. But, I mean, no. It got picked, and it was 4th down. It wasn't a pick. But it got tipped, and it was their 4th and 11. And so it was like 40 seconds left, maybe, or whatever. And so they lost. And I was just like, but San Francisco had a field goal that the wind blew. And there were a lot of 3rd downs that weren't converted on both sides of that game yesterday. And it was crazy. And then the Eagles got it right after that happened. And they went down. And the wind just took that ball. And I was like, oh, my God, because I could have had them up by 1. It was just. And so, yeah, I could never be an Eagles fan. My daughter rocks with them. And that's wonderful. But they definitely will stress you out. So, but other than that, who put Black and Gold? Marcus Hightower.
Yeah, baby, black and gold, black and yellow, black and yellow.
So you guys are playing
Tonight.
Denver, right?
No, they're playing the
Texans.
Oh,
Denver's got a bye. So if we win, we play Denver. Top seed.
If
they got a week rest if we win.
If you
mind
win.
I'm thinking positive, so that's an if.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Everybody has to, rock with the team or whatever. I don't have a dog in the fight. And who else is playing now? Denver and who else?
Buffalo Bills.
The Bills.
Won,
okay.
Bears won. Rams won.
Rams play Seattle.
Hi, Raya Alexander. Ray Alexander. I'm sorry. I said Raya. Ray Alexander 2833. He said, greetings, Altadena Talks. Marcus Hightower, I put you up. So hello, welcome.
Greetings.
Brandon. Hi, Brandon. And our good morning, ATP family, Marcus Betts. Good morning. Thank you for joining. And then council member Dot Wong. Hey, Dot. She's on the Altadena Town Council, Dorothy Wong, and she goes by Councilmember Dot Wong. So thank you all for coming this morning. Mondays is not the day where we bring people on. That's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Generally, we don't, unless somebody says they want to come on. But because this is the beginning of the year, I don't have a whole lot of people yet. I have somebody on the 20th. I'm working on somebody for Thursday. I'm going to see if I can get somebody tomorrow. But if not, I thought about this. What if we make it come on with Tony Talks or talk about it with Tony Talks and invite someone to pop in with us tomorrow and we just talk about it. We don't know a lot of times what the community wants to talk about. So we find things to talk about unless somebody puts in the chat, hey, you give us information on this? Or if we see someone out there, just like last Tuesday, I spoke about the deeds and about clearing the lots, even now keeping them maintained, because we had questions from the community on that, either text or called to us or where we were in person. So we did speak about, removing the language, the derogatory, usually racist language that was on a lot of the deeds in Altadena from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, like don't sell to colored, things like that. Because people found out when their homes burned and they requested a new deed, they saw it on there and were shocked. And so we gave that information last Tuesday on how to remove that, how to apply with the county, where you get your deed, you highlight it or underline it. I would say do both. Send that deed in to the email address that we were given. I think it's RRCC. I'll look it up. But then the county council would get it. Yeah, RRCC, Registered Recorder Covenant something. But I'll get that. Actually, we could probably just go back to our YouTube and get the link for that show and put it in here. And then that way everybody can have it and they can look at that if that's something that was of interest to them. And then talked about maintaining lots because I guess people are getting complaints or others who are starting the building process may not necessarily want to rebuild and go home to lots on either side of them that aren't maintained. And yes, you can call the county and report that. But what I recommended is, since these are your neighbors, if you know where they are, if you have a block captain and you guys have a block thread, talk to your neighbor instead. And maybe if your neighbor's older, as part of your block program, maybe some of you guys can get together and go up there and clean. And granted, people don't necessarily have a lot of the equipment anymore that they had before because it was left behind and burned in the fire. But if a block does that, some of us that have equipment, I do, because I showed you what I just did up at the lot on Wapello at my parents' lot, that took 7 hours. But what if I had 5 or 6 people, right? Or 5 people with me or 4 people? It wouldn't have taken me 7 hours. I have trash bags, I have a weed eater, I have a lawnmower, I have, all this stuff and just bring it with all the batteries or whatever. So maybe someone in your community is able to do that instead of someone being called and their lot being reported. Because yes, no one wants their neighborhood looking like, all overgrown weeds and everything. But that's pretty much what Altadena is right now. And so if you have a problem with a neighbor with that, let's instead maybe be neighborly and call them and say, hey, maybe we can help or something like that. And so for tomorrow's show, as of right now, doesn't mean I won't by the end of the day, but as of right now, I don't have anyone on. So if anyone has a suggestion or anyone would like to come on and discuss something, hey, Councilmember Wang, do you want to come on the show tomorrow? I don't know if you have time, but you can give updates she's on. Might as well ask her. Don't look like that, Brian.
You said Wang.
Oh, Wong. I'm sorry, I did. That's why you look like that. I don't have my glasses on, and I know it's Wong, Doc Wong. I'm sorry. That's why Brian.
We forgive us, Dorothy. We obviously aren't paying attention to our town council members.
I should have had my glasses on. I'm off for a second. But yes, that if you want to come on, I know that next Tuesday, I believe the 20th. What's his name? Io, right? Is gonna come on. You guys, I have Monday morning fog. This is so weird.
We're gonna have whatchamacallit and whatchamajigga come on the next whatever day is gonna be.
And the wings and the wongs and the wangs. No, I don't need to say wong that time, but I have Monday morning fog. So sorry, everyone.
And we're the comic relief. We catch it. We give the facial expression to kind of give you a hint, like.
That's the beauty of doing live.
What did your parents used to say? Use your words. Use your words.
Right. And don't do the all the filler words, right? And that's what I'm doing right now because
it's all good.
It's unscripted and my brain apparently is still not awake this morning.
Anyway,
so anyway, I just want to get that out of the way before we go over all of the weekend events that were attended. If anyone attended anything, I came home and I was exhausted yesterday. And I think by about 6:30, I probably went to bed. I think I talked to you for a minute, Brian, after I talked to Jamal to give you guys some new information for us. And then I went in there and I knocked out early. And I think it's just that a lot's been going on this past week for us and for me individually. So my body, I just been dealing with it and smiling through it. And my body was like, no, ma'am, you're going to go and have a rest. And I know Saturday I was in bed by like 6:30. And last night my body was like, get your life together and go lay down. And I'm okay this morning. I'm wide awake. I had physical therapy at 7:30, but apparently my brain is still in the bed. So we shall see what happens. Anywho.
I was trying to figure out when I went. I slept great this weekend. I went home Friday night. I think, did I do anything Saturday? I came back out here Saturday, but Sunday I stayed at home all day. And then I had to come to the office later on that night, but I got some good rest.
Good for you.
Yeah, you deserve it.
One of the things that I would like to do today maybe is we didn't have a chance on Friday because we went long, is go through that video. And another thing, I think I put in our private chat, there it is. I didn't click send. But I do know Saturday, Harambe had an event at Harambe, but it was the Dina Relief Drive, their 1-year commemorative event. And I know they had food trucks and music and all kinds of things. I did not get a chance to go over there because, as many on here know, last week was a fasting week for us at Victory Bible Church. And afterwards, we went and prayed over the whole city of Pasadena. My area where I was the lead of was Jackie Robinson Park and Jackie Robinson Center. And so I had a couple people with me and we walked around and prayed. And then we all went and met up at the Rose Bowl and prayed in front of the Rose Bowl. And so after that, we were like, oh, the fast is over. We can eat. So we went to Houston's, me and my daughter, my 2 daughters, my adopted daughter that I've now adopted who started coming to our church in May, and then my real daughter. And we went and ate at Houston's. And then I came home and did some work in the office and then I think by 6:30, my body was like, go lay down. So I did. How was your weekend, Jamal?
Oh, again, it was real chill. Just watched a lot of football.
Nice.
Still, I didn't do as much daddy Ubering as I usually do.
What?
I didn't say I didn't do any. It just wasn't as much as usual.
And no tournaments this weekend.
No
Good for
tournaments
you.
this weekend. But next weekend, they begin again. Well, yeah, Martin Luther King Day. There's a tournament.
So if
Well,
we
we
can
didn't
bring
get
up
a break, huh?
that, Jamal, if you could bring up the article in the San Gabriel Valley Tribune for the Dina Relief Drive, that would be nice to at least show some of what they did, including the photos. Obviously, Congresswoman Judy Chu, who is our congressman for this district, was there. And she gave different nonprofits and some churches recognition for their work that they've been doing in the community. I do.
Finally, it's working.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I was saying finally it's working. I've been having trouble.
Yeah. So if you go down a little, just that first photo, and then there's some other ones below. But that is Brennan Lamar, who is, you know how we always make the joke Jamaicans have like 100 jobs or whatever?
Tree job.
Right. Tree. Yeah. Brennan has at least 3, but more because he's on boards and all kind of stuff. So I know Brennan because he is the young adult, so from 18 to I think 40, pastor at Victory Bible Church, at our church. Then he happens to be the president of the Pasadena NAACP. He is also executive director of Harambe. That is where they are now. Harambe is in the heart of Pasadena on like Navarro and Howard. And it is ministry, but it is a place where kids, youth come for after school care. Not just that, but there's a lot of stuff that Harambe does out in the community, and they put on plays and all kind of amazing stuff. And then Passion Project, which is, he is the founder and probably CEO of the Passion Project. And immediately after the fires, because Brandon and all his family, Mother Evans, his grandmother, and everybody's Altadena and Pasadena people. He's lived in both Altadena and Pasadena growing up, and currently lives in Pasadena with his wife. But they immediately, with the Flint Ridge Center, he started the Dina Relief Drive last year. And there were tons of donations that came in. I remember somebody giving me something, and I filled up and put my seats down in the back of my SUV, and it was full. And I drove over there, and they were like, ma'am, you have to go to the back of this line. I said, I'm not in the line to get stuff. I'm in the line to give stuff. Because I had someone connect with me and say, hey, Tony, I want to donate toothbrushes and diapers and this and that from, I think she lives in Corona. Their church had collected some money. So she met me at Costco, and we filled up the back of they purchased it, and we filled up the back of my SUV, and I drove it out. But that's Brendan's car on the end. Next to him is Michelle White, and we talked about her last week with Neighborhood Servants. I'm not sure who that is next to Michelle, but he has the Dina Relief Drive t-shirt on, so he may be someone that had volunteered with them. And then our Congresswoman Judy Chu. And then I see chippery and bright smiling Miss Juicy Little, Crystal Lopez. Then I see Courtney Lindsay, who goes by Sunwa. He is he teaches, he does music, and he's, I think, a director at Harambe, been there several years. And I'm not sure who that is on the side of Courtney in the gold pants, but I do see he has a Dina Relief Drive shirt on as well. So this does say leaders of local nonprofits and churches hold certificates and recognition given by Rep. Judy Chu for their work helping Eaton fire survivors at the first anniversary commemoration of the blaze held by the Dina Relief Drive on the campus of Harambe Ministries in Pasadena on Saturday, January 10th. So that's nice that she was there and gave them all certificates as well. And then if you scroll down, I'm not going to read the article, but there are 5 photos from the event. that are really nice. I did not go, but I know my daughter, after we left Houston, she went. And a lot of those photos right there are on the wall are from last year, right after the fire. And they were at the relief drive down at the Flint Ridge Center. I believe they held some of it even here at Harambe. And so it was really nice to see those photos. And then they had entertainment. So I know Asia Grant and Romaine Jones standing next to each other because they all sing. I'm not sure who had the mic, but it looks like there's a whole band. And so they obviously sang and had that. And that's on Navarro in front of Harambe. And if anybody knows, Navarro's a very narrow street. And when you park on the north and south side of Navarro, going up and down the street, you can literally fit one car in between as you're driving down. So if the line was that long to get into this event, which is amazing, I do believe they were also they had food trucks or food, entertainment, and some other things, and invited the community back out to it. So that's nice that so many people were there so early. So those are all the photos, but Brandon and all of them are doing a great work. They continue to. In the first year, Rep Chu praised the collective's work, giving out in the first year 1.9 million pounds of essential items, more than $150,000 in gift cards, more than $300,000 in direct cash assistance to more than 5,000 impacted families. And she said that she's amazed by what they do and pledging to do what she can to keep federal aid coming in. So it does talk about him being founder of Passion Project in the days after the fire, helping has evolved into delivering essentials to survivors wherever they may be. And why that is because they have a truck. And I was there one day and they got like furniture delivered. And so they only have a small, a classroom size storage area. But taking the furniture, the couches and the chairs and other furniture that had been donated to them, and it was really good shape. And they were putting it on the truck and delivering it to people's apartments or wherever they had been displaced so that people had what they need. So Passion Project has done amazing work in the community. And so it's super neat to see that, they had this. Senator Sasha Renee Perez dropped by to thank helpers. And, it was great. And she also acknowledged, I think, Juicy Little and the farmers markets. Yes, that they have Maria Lopez Finster and her husband, Jimmy, who regularly drive from Los Angeles to Altadena to work at community events, which is awesome. But also the We Out Here, which is Crystal Lopez. And they partner with Fair Oaks Burgers, and every single Wednesday, as of right now, still a year later, they are still having the farmer market, or the We Out Here, as Brian likes to say, but We Out Here. So they say brick by brick, we're building our city back. So Sun Woa is, like I said, Courtney Lindsay, but maybe he's talking about Pasadena because Altadena is not a city, but board by board, piece of wood by piece of wood, we are definitely also going to bring our town of Altadena back. And people in Pasadena will build their city back, and in Sierra Madre as well. So really nice to see that it was a successful one-year commemorative event. I know that we announced it here, and good to see that many people showed up. There was an event last night that was held at the Altadena Town and Country Club that Yolanda put on and some other people, but I think it was at 7 p.m. My body was like, no, you're going to go to bed early. So the Pasadena mayor has joined. Hello, Pasadena Mayor Gordo, or your office. Thank you for watching Altadena Talks and being here today. It would be great to even have someone from the mayor's office or the mayor come on to talk about how things are going in Pasadena, because even though we in Altadena are the county and unincorporated as a town, Pasadena lost, I believe, if this number is correct, 110 homes to the Eaton fire a year ago. And it would be wonderful to hear from the Pasadena mayor or someone in the office about how that's going. I do know a couple people that live in Pasadena who lost their homes, and they said that they're having a heck of a time with permitting so that they can, get back in. Somebody said something about fees or whatever. And I know I've told someone, look, even if you have to pay the fees, pay them and get back home and let the city determine if they're going to, refund them like the county has done or not. But do what you have to do to get back in your house, to get it built. But maybe I will reach out to the mayor's office and see whether or not we can get someone to represent the city of Pasadena to come on and talk about their recovery from those 110 homes and anything else in Pasadena that was either total loss or damaged by the fires.
Right.
I hadn't thought about that, but I will. I will definitely reach out. So
I think majority of the homes that they lost were up in Hastings Ranch.
Those, and then some were right there, just below on Glen or other
New York.
No, between Woodbury and Fair Oaks.
No, I'm talking about. Well, I don't really count that side of Pasadena because I get it. It's below it, but I was looking at a majority of it because that's such a weird line right there. Because Woodbury, like at certain points, is still Altadena and Pasadena, but then when it goes down the turns,
but there are people that were like at Tremont and Glen that lost their homes.
No, I know. My aunt was right there on Glen, right below Woodbury, and it didn't get to her home. It just missed it. They suffered a lot of smoke damage, though.
Yeah, and some lost homes. And then, so Ray has this question. Has the Magic Johnson Foundation held any outreach meetings to the residents of Altadena regarding the LA Rises initiative? Not that I'm aware of, Ray, but if you or someone else is a representative of that, because of course LA Rises is LA, Los Angeles, right? Which would be Palisades. But if you know of anybody that I should reach out to. But when you go to that website, there are things on it that have to do with Altadena. There's plenty. Like, I guess they posted, and maybe we're at our Christmas tree lane ceremony to relight. The first family that moved back in their West Altadena home, Channel 7 was on. That's on this site. Altadena community celebrates reopening of several small businesses. That was in November. And then November, also the first home has been rebuilt. So they are in contact with it, with Altadena. There's a lot of news coverage anyway. I'll say that on it. Faith Unshaken, there are things from December, Senator Perez to launch funding initiative. So on that one, she talked about that funding initiative on December 16th, and there was a press conference. But when she came on this November 22nd to the Altadena Talks Day of Thanks, that luncheon that we did, she talked about that funding initiative in order to get people back home with ADUs on their lot. So I do know that about that. But on the site, it talks about LA Rises Together, join us. There's a link that says find resources, and there's a State of California resource hub. Jamal, do you want to pull this up as I'm speaking to it? Hold on. Here, that's the org. There's a give back, says recovery is in process. Whether you have $1 to give or time to spare, our neighbors need your support. See how you can lead a helping hand, support your community. You can click there. And there's one that says share your story. So, this I'm pretty sure, because it always says Angelinos, was primarily set up for Los Angeles, but meaning the city of Los Angeles, but we are also all in the county of Los Angeles, which would make us all County of Los Angelinos, I guess. Los Angelinos County, whatever. I don't even know how to say that right, and I don't want to be disrespectful. Wow, there's a picture of Mark at the bottom of that homepage, almost right before it says stay in touch, of Mark Carter, who passed recently, who lost a lot. Their family lost 3 properties in the fire. So, but it says about LA Rises. And if you have any more information on this, Ray, you can talk to us. I know that I will say this. I was contacted early on by the Magic Johnson Foundation by a Colonel Arnold Strong saying, I understand you're a Black veteran from Altadena. I said, yes. And they said, well, the Magic Johnson Foundation is trying to find other Black veterans in Altadena because they want to support them in the rebuild. And I said, well, what do you mean support them? And they said they want to support their staying and rebuilding, like give money to their contractors to help fund, their rebuild. We've since been ghosted. I got several Black veterans in Altadena to give me their information or their parents' information if their parents were veterans. And I gave my father's because it was, my parents' home, and my father's a veteran as well as me. And probably gave him a list of 10 people with all the information, addresses, everything. And then I would check in every now and then, and he would say, oh, they're still meeting, yada, yada, yada. They've raised all this money. And to date, I've heard nothing in months. And I don't even check in anymore. So, Ray, as far as the other outreach meetings, I haven't seen any that are just outreach meetings for Altadena. I do see on this LARises.org page, they have a lot of stories from Altadena that are news stories, but whether they've been actually Altadena and done anything, no. I know Magic Johnson himself in the very beginning heard about Walt Butler's story and met with him, donated to, I believe, his GoFundMe, but personally took him a $150,000 check and a signed jersey. That was in the very beginning after the fires. Other than that, I don't know about the Magic Johnson Foundation being in Altadena doing anything or having any outreach. We do have a Magic Johnson gym still on the corner of Lincoln and Woodbury that's been there for a few decades now. But I haven't heard anything else. Have you, Brian or Jamal?
No, I don't think we're going to either, because that would just create chaos and mayhem if they decided now to hold community outreach meetings. I think through their LA Rises initiative that they were doing with the Dodgers, I think Magic is more like a figurehead for that particular group, because they're the ones that's actually funding the $100 million. Mark, I forgot his last name, Walter or something like that.
Walter, yeah, the Dodgers.
Yeah, so I think they're going to do like how Fire Aid did and just go through another nonprofit that knows the situation, and they're going to do the best they can.
Yeah.
I stopped worrying about what other people are getting because so many people are worried about what we get that it doesn't even make sense anymore. Anything that anybody gets, that's what they get. And it's not going to be one of those arguments. First off, I always tell people this. If you're not registered with any place to let people know that you're in need, you're not going to get anything. They don't know that you're sitting up there hopeless and helpless, unless you come sign up someplace, like at one of the church events or Red Cross or FEMA or whatever it is you were supposed to sign up for. I know a lot of people didn't know about FEMA to sign up. This is a disaster that's never happened to us. No one knows what to do. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why we started this podcast, to give you a direction, a sense of direction on where to go. And that's based on what we find.
Well, I think I've always known about FEMA and about the Red Cross because of volunteer work, but also FEMA, almost everyone knew or learned about FEMA when the hurricanes happened in New Orleans. And so I did know when there were disasters, FEMA would be on site. And then my mother volunteered for, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years with the Red Cross. And she would always go different places after hurricanes or after, tornadoes or whatever. And she would always come home and talk about what the Red Cross did and what they did in conjunction with FEMA. So me personally, I did, which is why when I started sharing information, it was because I knew these things were actually out there and available, and we needed to make sure that people that didn't know because they've never been through or really dealt with disaster or disaster preparedness had that information because it's so vitally important. But I don't know that the Magic Johnson Foundation is going to be holding any outreach meetings to Altadena. Again, it's LA Rises, and I really believe LA Rises was started solely for the purpose of the homes lost in LA, whether it was Palisades or Malibu or whatever affected by the fires last year. But if they do, it'll be great. Hopefully they, reach back out to people and do something, because again, in our town, the help is definitely needed, in the city of Pasadena, in the city of Sierra Madre, wherever. So the more that comes in to the region that can be dispersed to help people, that's what's super important. So,
yeah, I wasn't aware of what to do, but I just decided that I would be a beacon that people could come to find out more stuff. And then I just started pulling information from other pages, including yours, Tony, to start sharing with people, because I didn't know, I was just starting to do research just to be able to help people who didn't know how to start,
Well, plus you guys were in shock, right? Like,
well, I didn't even know that people were going down to the Civic Center. I didn't hear nothing about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was down there volunteering and picking up people. I was the van driver for Victory to go pick up people to bring them over to the church, because we had hot meal, we had everything that people needed, food, clothes, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I was sharing a lot of what Victory was doing and putting out as well, so people would know that that was a resource hub that they could go to.
Well, that was another great thing too, is that the churches stepped up and informed their parishioners that they had a place to go and come here and sign up and do all of that. So kudos to the churches stepping up, because they were the first line of defense to help people out, because people knew that if anything, I don't know anything, I know my church will probably know something. So that was cool.
Hopefully.
I know certain churches probably said, just stay home. It'll be okay. I can name a couple of them that would have probably told people that. Wait, stay home. We don't have a home to go to. So what are you talking about?
Sorry, I just got a text. I'm sending something back to someone. So, yeah, that that's how it all started, and that's why we got to stay on top of it, and that's why we continue to be here a year later, maybe 2, 3, 4 years later. We'll see, because it's all about the recovery. So does anybody or anyone that's been watching, do you have any suggestions about tomorrow? Wheels have been turning in my head and I'm thinking, so I got to email, text, or call some people today and see. Do we want to go to announcements now? Oh, I did want to read this comment. I posted it up real quick, but I will read it because Nishan put this on here. Dodgers Executive Vice President Bob Wolf, who is a Pasadena resident, recalled watching fire trucks stream up the foothills as the blazes raged. Yeah, it just depends on when and where they went.
I saw a lot of fire trucks down in Brookside. It was a ton of them.
Well, that was the command center. The Rose Bowl was the command center, because that's where on that Friday, let's see, the fires happened on a Tuesday. Started on a Tuesday. By Wednesday the 8th, almost everything was gone. The 10th was the Friday. And I hadn't seen my brother since that night of the fire. I hadn't seen him. I spoke with him, but I hadn't seen him. And so I went down there because I called him. I was like, where are you at? He said, I'm down here at the command center. And you remember I said I got down there and they didn't want to let me in, because really you should only be like fire personnel or whatever, or somebody special. And I looked at the sheriff. I said, I'm going in. My brother's in there. He's a fire chief, and I'm going to see him. And he was like, ma'am. And so I was trying to call my brother on speaker, right? Called him 2 times back to back, and he didn't answer. And so I said, well, you're going to have to figure something out, because I'm going in there to see my brother. So he looked at me and he told the other one, open the thing. You know how the Rose Bowl always has where they're blocked off. He was like, go ahead, ma'am, go ahead. I guess he was like, I'm not getting ready to argue with her, because she's determined she's getting in there. I said, he's a Cal Fire chief. He's at the command center. So I got in there, and I remember seeing him And we didn't grow up where in our household, it wasn't like we all hugged each other each day and was like, okay, love you, see you later, stuff like that. That wasn't a thing, that because that's not how it was for my dad growing up in New Orleans, right? So I remember calling him, he called me back and I was like, where are you, dude? Because I'm like getting in here, this and that. And he was like, oh, I'm inside. I was like, okay. So I got to the gate and the guy said the same thing. And I was like, I'm looking for my little brother. He's in here, da 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 da. And just as the man was arguing, like, ma'am, I can't just let you in. You're going to let me in to find my brother. My brother comes walking. He was like, hey, she's with me or whatever, right? So the guy was like, okay, go ahead. And I remember when I walked over to him, I just embraced him and I just broke down crying because I had talked to him that week, a couple days earlier, where he told me he fell asleep on the couch and had that gust of wind not happen, he would have died, right? So in the house and in our parents' house. And so I was like, I hadn't physically seen him. And he was like, oh, wow. You know, like she's hugging me and crying type thing. But all the emotions hit. And so that was a command center. And he walked me throughout different parts. And that's the first time I realized like he had mad respect. And I was like, because we were walking and almost everybody we walked by were like, hi, chief. Hey, chief. Hi, chief. And I was like, why do they keep doing that? And he said, oh, they're looking. I said, how do they know you're a chief? He said, because the number of bugles that I have. So I don't know if you've ever seen on firefighters on their lapel, it's these round, what do you call them? They're pins, I guess, or whatever, right? And you put them on each side of your shirt. But when I looked, I said, your bugles, and they're actual bugles, right? And depending on how many you have, detonates your ranking. And so he walked by everybody and everybody was like, hey, chief. Because I guess he's a deputy chief. So he's got like these 4 bugles. And I saw other people that had no bugles or maybe 1 bugle. So as you go up in the ranks, you have bugles. So everybody, I was like, oh, you the man, basically, huh? And he was just like, whatever. But that's when we were leaving. And every time I see Catherine Barger, we joke about it. But she was like, you almost got me fired. I was like, I didn't get you fired. When we were walking out and I saw her and I was introducing her to my brother. So she took our arms and had us go back in and introduced us to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and, a bunch of dignitaries and all that stuff. And then my brother and Meghan Markle start talking like they were old friends because when he went to St. Francis, she went to St. Mary's or something in LA and went to the prom there at St. Francis, and they started talking about all that. And then Harry and him started talking, and I have all these pictures, and I'm like, oh, like you real the man in here today. So that was super dope. But yeah. The classic Ash, hi, you joined as well. Thank you for coming on. But I do remember, Brian, yes, down there at the command center, they had not only inside the Rose Bowl, but all outside where people tailgate for the games. And
yeah, that's what I was able to see. I was able to see that because when I went down there to do the first live from the donation station, they were across the street. And then the next day I came back down there to do it again because they said earlier, and FEMA had totally shut that down. They started putting FEMA lockers, the trailers, like the dressing rooms. Mm-hmm. I mean, it took up the whole parking lot. It kind of looked crazy. It was like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. It's like serious staging. That was like the Holocaust. It just reminded me of concentration camps and all that stuff because it was just in such magnificent order. Like whoever was the people who put that stuff down there, they like already got bevels and lineups in their head.
Yeah, always, because it goes from one disaster to the next.
Right.
And they carry them all over the country and reset up for short term. And I remember people were mad when the Civic Center closed down after like 2 weeks, and then they extended it a week. And so I asked my mom, I said, Mom, why are they only here for a couple of weeks? She said it's only meant for short term, to get them a place to have a shelter, because she used to volunteer so much all over the country with them. She was like, we only set up for 2 to 3 weeks max, and then they close it all down. It's not meant to be you come and live here. It's here. You have a shelter temporarily, then we'll give you vouchers for hotels and all this stuff, but you process through the whole thing. But people were like, we don't have anything and you're leaving. And it was like, it's short term to make sure you're not on the street. So I remember having it, I think, talk about it here because people were not happy. But yeah.
Hey Tony, any update from Supervisor Barger? I knew we were trying to get her on. I know it's hard.
Yeah, she's so all over the place. I'll reach out to her and with Assembly Member John Harbedian. Because they said he said he wanted to come on, or his people asked me. So I just saw Dustin again last week up at the grocery outlet, and I said, give me your card again, because I'm sure I have it, but I don't know where it is right now. And he did. So I will email them as well and see when I can get them on. Yeah.
Nice. It would be really cool to get her on before her when does her term end? Or her, because this is her last one, right?
Yeah, not till 28.
Oh, 28. Okay.
So I think we have this year is 26, then 27, 28, I believe is when her term is up. But yes, this is her last because they are 4-year terms and you can only have 2 back to back. I love that we have term limits here in California. I think that's what needs to be all over the U.S., including our Congress people and senators and all that, because people being in office for 20, 30, 40 years and have a one-way mindset doesn't work. You want to go to announcements now, Jamal?
Yeah, I can.
Go to the commercial.
We're 46
what
minutes.
Was that?
Go to commercial.
The cutover.
That was from the Running Man.
I was thrown off by that one. All right, so we'll start at the very beginning. So we have the Altadena Community Center that is available 9 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. The address is 730 East Altadena Drive in Altadena. If you scan the QR code, you can find out which specific departments are physically going to be there the day that you go. We also have the LA County One-Stop Permit Center at 464 West Woodbury Road, Suite 210. Walk-in hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30. You can also do a rebuild consultation appointment. Those are available only on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., as well as Saturdays from 8 to noon. There's also the Southern California Edison planner appointments that are available only Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to noon. To schedule those last 2 appointments, you would go to recovery.lacounty.gov/rebuilding/1-stop-permit-centers. And then the county's waiving and refunding permit fees for homeowners rebuilding after the fires. So if you're a homeowner who's already paid your fees, they can be refunded. And those who've yet to pay your fees, you can have them waived. To qualify, though, you must demonstrate that you both owned and lived in your property prior to the 7th of January of 2025. You also must be working on an eligible project, such as the replacement of your single-family home that was destroyed by either the Eaton or the Palisades fire. And this does include accessory structures like garages, pools, and ADUs. This also includes standalone ADUs that are being used for temporary occupancy during the rebuilding. What's not eligible are commercial, rental, multifamily, or temporary housing projects, or any property that was not damaged by the fires. So if you want to apply for your fee waiver or refund, you can scan the QR code, or you can actually go to recovery.lacounty.gov/fee-waivers-and-refunds. You can fill the form out and you can include it in an email and send that to recovery@planning.lacounty.gov, or you can print a copy and just submit it to the One-Stop Permit Center or to the Altadena Community Center. And only one form is needed for all departments. Now, CalAssist Mortgage Fund is still providing 3 months of mortgage payment relief up to a maximum of $20,000. The funds don't have to be repaid. It is free to apply. However, if you do get the funds, it's paid directly to your mortgage servicer, not to you directly. Eligibility requirements are that the primary residence must have been destroyed or considered uninhabitable due to any qualified disaster from the 1st of January of 23 through the 8th of January of 25. This obviously includes the Eaton and Palisades fire. You also must have owned and occupied your home at the time, and it could have up to 4 units on the property. And lastly, you must meet the combined income limits of $211,000. Now, if you do apply, please be prepared to provide your proof of income, homeowner's insurance or FEMA claim, mortgage statement, bank statements, and your utility bills. To actually apply, though, you would go to calassistmortgagefund.org, and they're providing telephone assistance Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. by calling 800-501-0019. You can also get in-person assistance Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. by either going to the Altadena Community Center at 730 East Altadena Drive or to the One Stop Rebuild Center at 1828 Sawtell Boulevard in LA. So Eaton Health Village is still providing free medical and mental health clinics Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. They're accepting walk-ins, or you can actually call to set up your appointment or ask questions at 951-595-7032. The address is 1280 East Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. And as Tony had mentioned a little earlier when we were sharing what Harambe had done, Harambe, in connection with Project Passion, is continuing their Freedom Store every Monday and Tuesday for Eaton Fire survivors. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Harambe, which is at 1609 Navarro Street in Pasadena. And it's by appointment only, and you can set up your appointment by scanning the QR code on the screen or by going to tinyurl.com/Harambe Freedom Store, all one word, all capitalized. And items will be vary from toiletries to home essentials and much more. Legal Aid Foundation of LA is providing FEMA appeals workshops. The next one is a virtual Zoom meeting, which is tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 4:30. You can learn how to appeal a FEMA decision and bring your rights and your rights during the process. There'll be a presentation as well as an attorney with Q&A session. Scan the QR code to go ahead and register. If you have some questions, you can go to fla.org/fires, or you can call 800-399-4529. There's the in-person grief circle for Eaton Fire survivors. This is a continuing or an ongoing grief support that's held on the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month at 6 p.m. The location is the Armory Center for the Arts, the Creativity and Community Care Room, which is located at 145 North Raymond Avenue in Pasadena. It is, feel free to bring snacks and beverages, no alcohol though, so that you can share this stuff to the group. And this is a free session. Want to get a start a couple days in advance. So on every Wednesday from 12 to 3, Juicy Little Finds Thrift Store is providing the We Out Here Market. It's at the world famous Fair Oaks Burger at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena.
World famous. World famous.
World famous. At this point, they definitely are. Remember, this is just for Altadena residents, so make sure you bring your ID. There's many free things that are there, like a farmer's market, vegan hot meals, groceries, hygiene products, free love and prayers, legal advice, thrift store pop-up, and much more. They do ask that you bring your own bag. And if you'd like additional information, you can go to juicylittle.org.
We out here.
Then the Hollywood Food Coalition is continuing their community food distribution. The next one will be this Wednesday, the 14th. Supplies are limited, first come, first serve, and it is at the main library parking lot, which is 600 East Mariposa Street, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And if you can, they ask that you bring your own extra bags. And then there is another free grocery pop-up market happening Wednesday as well. This is actually going to be from 12 p.m. until the supplies last. This is going to be at Lifeline Fellowship Christian Fellowship, 2556 North Lake Avenue in Altadena. They do ask that you bring your own bag. There will also be 200 free hot meals provided by El Patron Restaurant and sponsored by Support and Feed. Oh, it says also Boots on the Ground special end of the month Wednesday, so the last Wednesday of the month. They'll be giving out bulk supplies, hygiene products, new clothing, shoes, dishware, diapers, wipes, essential supplies, and this will allow you to stock up. I think they'll probably have a separate flyer for that because it's the last Wednesday. More grief support. So Healing Together support group. So free grief and loss support group for LA Fires. This is every Wednesday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Maxwell House, which is at 55 South Grand Avenue in Pasadena. It is virtual. Anyone impacted by the fires or the recent fires can come. However, they are limiting it to adults only. And again, it's free. If you have any questions, you can contact Joanne Diaz-Kogel at 818-395-8066 or at joannekogel@gmail.com. That's JOANNEKOGL. My Tribe Rise is continuing their Adopt a Survivor matching fund drive. They're raising $500,000 to match the $500,000 they had already raised to reach their goal of $1 million. To provide bridge funding for rent and mortgage coverage for up to 50 families. If you're capable, please donate by scanning the QR code in the upper right-hand corner. All right, and there will be guided meditations. There'll be 2 more. The first one was this past Friday. The next one will be this coming up Friday, and the last one will be the following Friday at 5 p.m. at the main library community room. It is going to be with Davon of Pasadena Meditation. Doesn't look like you have to scan anything. Just go ahead and show up there at 5 p.m. so you can be part of the meditation. And then Doors of Reflection. These were prompts for connection, release, and resilience. The Doors of Reflection brings 4 doors of locations across Altadena, each with different prompts that invite community to reflect on the past year. Our written messages and memories shared on the doors form a living snapshot of our collective experiences. Today is the last day. You can go to one of the 4 locations or all 4. I believe there are different prompts for each door. So one is located at the Altadena Main Library at 600 East Mariposa Street. The other one is at Fair Oaks Burger, the world famous Fair Oaks Burger at 2560 Fair Oaks Avenue. The third is at the Grocery Outlet at 2270 Lake Avenue. And the last one is at Odyssey Charter South at 575 West Altadena Drive. Now, after today, all 4 doors can be viewed at the Eden Fire Collaboratory. And there's going to be a power-up event. This is for the Altadena community for a day-long festival commemorating 1 year since the Eden Fires. The venue supports the healing and social programs. It was originally going to be at Zorthian Ranch, but now it's going to be at Westminster Church at 1757 North Lake Avenue in Pasadena. It's going to be on the 17th. It's beginning at 11 a.m. A couple more, and then we'll be done. So Under the Stars, Voices of Resilience is taking place on January 20th. It is a Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Altadena Library. It's at the community room, so if you're interested in going, there's limited space. So scan the QR code early so you can register. Join them for an event for the 1-year anniversary of the Eden Canyon Fires. You'll see poets, writers, and community members as they reflect on memory, healing, and rebuilding. This again is at 600 East Mariposa Street in Altadena, and again, you can scan the QR code to register.
We're actually one of the sponsors for that event.
Oh, cool.
You know what? I just went to the QR code, and it has all the participants, and it says Erica Slater, Altadena Community Garden. I would love to hear what that person has to say or is going to talk about from the garden, because we're going to be doing something over there. We, as in Altadena Talks, with partnership with the Black Freedom Fund, because of my father being the founder of the Altadena Community Gardens. So I would love to hear what Erica Slater is going to be talking about at that. And Mary, who's the vice president, and I think his name is Joe, who's the president over there, they interviewed my parents in late August, early September about when he founded it, how he got the land, because he used to work for the county and all of that. So I will maybe go to that. It'll be very interesting to hear what Erica Slater will talk about as far as the garden and the reopening and all that.
Very cool. I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on here.
Yep. And this last flyer is for Beneath the Ashes, the Past Reimagined. The documentary film produced by Brandon Lamar and directed by Harag Yadalian. Sunday, February 1st, is going to be the official premiere at Agbu Cultural Center at 2495 East Mountain Street in Pasadena. The doors are going to open at 4:30 with the screening beginning at 5 p.m. Please scan the QR code to RSVP, and you can go to beneaththeashes.com to get additional information. With that, I'm bringing everybody back, and that is the flyers for today.
Oh, do we want to bring the video up?
Michonne Dion says
I'm excited for
Erica Slater. Yeah, to be participating. Thanks for.
I don't know who that is, but not that I have to know. Right. I just never heard that name when it refers to the gardens, only because I know Mary and I think Joe, the president and vice president. But like I said, it'll be interesting to hear what they have to say. I know that she might be, or that person might be coming over talking about be quiet, Brian, might be coming over talking about what has been happening over there at the gardens, which we've talked about a little bit because I was over there when they were doing the mushroom poop and the remediate. You guys, I don't know.
I laugh every time you say that. It's so
because I don't know the technical term, and that's what they told me. They were like, just call it.
And that's fine. I just love it.
Still funny.
I know it's funny, but it's literally like when a mushroom grows and what they cut off and put in the grocery stores for us to buy, everything else that's under the ground, they're able to harvest and use it for remediation for soil. And it takes all the toxins out. So they call it mushroom poop. It's in these huge bags. You open it up, you mix it in with the soil and rake through it. And then they layered hay all on top of it. So I was there at the day that the mushroom poop had arrived and people were opening it. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But
putting your hands all in it, squishing.
But well, they had gloves and they were going to do it. But I was like, oh, okay. And so they told me a couple times what the true terminology is. And I tried to say it and couldn't to save my life. So they were just call it mushroom poop. So that's what I continue doing.
One of those weird names like acidophilus or something.
It is absolutely, yes. But that planting, what's funny is that people were given money for that. And it's from Fire Aid. What we were talking about some stuff last week. And it's really been scrutinized where the people that want the negative narration to be out there are saying, yeah, they gave money to people to plant stuff. And it's like, no, it's not to plant, it's to remediate the soil. But if you don't understand,
even if it was to plant, don't we want plants?
If you don't understand the science of it, and anyone who is talking about the Altadena but has never been there and does not realize the devastation because of the amount of trees that have been cut down, when we have had these canopies for decades, trees that were 80, 90, 100 years old, 60, 70 years old, we do have to replant. And people are even saying, hey, they came and took 4 trees off my lot. And now in part of my permitting process, the county is saying I'm responsible to plant 4 more trees at a cost of whatever that is. And so anybody that knows anything about the ozone layer and oxygen and outdoor air to breathe, in order to have oxygen, you need trees. You need lots of plants that help with that. And so, yes, there are planting, and yes, people have Oh, that's so cool. Planted 15 citrus fruit trees on Saturday with SoCal Edison employees and tree people at the garden. Nice. And so, yeah, because they're trying to get ready for the grand opening, reopening. I got to call Mary too, because when they do the barbecue, that's when we want to do ours and kind of do it in partnership with them, because they want to give my dad like a plaque or put a plaque up at the garden, since he is still living at 88 and he's the one that founded it when I was probably 8 or 9 or whatever. And that it's been here all this time. And I even told them, I said, if you guys can give him some little plot, that would be really good for him. But there's 125 people on the wait list, which is why I have said to the county, it would be great to utilize part of Farnsworth Park, the northwestern corner where that baseball diamond is. It's not really utilized anymore, to maybe make Altadena Community Gardens East, so that everybody in Altadena doesn't only have to go over there on Lincoln and Palm where the original one is, but maybe there could be one on the east side and more people can have plots, right? So we'll see. I kind of ran that up the food chain with people at the county, but I don't know if it's gonna, if anything will happen or not. But that would be really good to have that, because if you have 125 people waiting on plots and there's no land to make these extra plots. And let me tell you, the gardens today, the plots are half the size they were back when my dad founded it, because the plot that he had, which was the very northwest corner of the gardens, I had told Mary and them, and they were like, it wasn't that big. And I was like, yes, it was. We had everything, zucchini, strawberry, all the stuff that he planted. And so when they interviewed my parents, they walked them over there and showed them this was his plot as the founder, and this is how big. And they were like, oh, the daughter was right. And so I was like, yeah, she didn't forget much. But it would be really good to be able to incorporate something on the east side, because if we have land to do it, as part of the rebuild, they want to do the remembrance garden and all that. But I think we need an actual place that people can garden on the east side. And I think Farnsworth Park is a great location. What do you guys think? Would you go garden there if you could get a plot? If you were, not you, Jamal, you're not going to be a gardener. I would. Y'all know I have a whole garden.
He has a whole wife that does all kinds of backyard buggy.
That's me. Right.
So trust me, he's been a participant.
If gardening was happening with us, it's going to happen at the crib. We're not going to the community garden.
No, if you lived in Altadena and had an
I would definitely be over there growing my carrots and my celery.
Yeah. No, because it's nothing like going to my backyard.
No wonder my mic wasn't there. I couldn't hear me.
My wife and I need to get together. We got so much in common when it comes to building stuff at the house. And does she have the kind of tools I have, like the whole workbench and everything?
Some of them, yeah. She has some of them. Over time, she's built a nice little array of tools.
It's nothing like having your own. And mine are all, the electric, the Ryobi ones, because I like the bright yellow. But she has Ryobi too? That's dope.
Got a few. Yep.
Yeah. And I got to bring my table saw in the house. It's out back, not in the house, in the garage, but it's out back covered up. But I've been out back on the patio with the 2 sawhorses and my just circular saw this week, cutting down the panels for the slat wall that I'm doing in the office / studio. So but it's nothing like being able to just go outside and get your own tools, even as a woman, and put something together, build something, and not have to go rent any or borrow any or ask a brother or cousin or somebody like, hey, do you have your own? Because I love woodworking and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, going back to the mushroom thing, it's remediation, MYCO remediation. That's the word I used to have. I was having trouble with when I was reading the flyer.
Let me tell you something. That is not the term. It is the micro, but that micro is a long
MYCO.
I know, Myco, but that is like an abbreviated part of that word. before even the remediation. They were like,
Microremediation is a process that uses fungi to clean up contaminated environments by breaking down pollutants such as heavy metals, petroleums, and
but I'm telling you,
pesticides.
that is not what they were saying. Only, not just microremediation. It's like myco something, something, something. And I was like, they said it's mushroom poop, Tony. I was like, okay, thank you. So I would just always say mushroom poop. Do we want to show the video or no? We're at an hour. Oh, we're at an hour and 10 minutes. Oh, maybe that's what I could do tomorrow for Tony Talks. We'll show the video and talk about it. Maybe I'll call Rhonda and Stacy and see if they want to come on and talk about the process of that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So there is a video. There are several movies and everything, or shorts or whatever that are out, but there's a 20-minute video that Ebony did with myself, Rhonda Carson, and Stacy Pink. Pinkney. That she has Stacy Pink on Facebook, but Pinkney, that we did, and they emailed it to us last week. And the first day, it took me almost all day to even click on the link because it was so emotional. And I've watched it several times and still cried. I watched it last night. There it is. Mycelia something. Anyway, so they I'll call one of them and see if they want to come on with us, but they listened to each of us. They had a kind of like an Airbnb, but it's just to be utilized to film in, right? So almost like a peer space type event over in Altadena. And they had the three of us on one day, different times, go and sit with them and tell our stories in Altadena, who we are, you know, about the houses as they burned, what happened on January 7th, all of that. And you know what's something that I found out from the Ebony people that's real ironic? My mother saw an owl, a big, beautiful owl. And we all know that owls are nocturnal. But on the 7th of January, there was an owl. You guys know the story of the pine trees that are in the front yard that me and my brother planted in probably 5th or 6th grade that have been there for 50 years at least. And they did not burn. But in one of them, and I'm pretty sure it's the one my brother planted, there was a huge, beautiful owl staring in the windows all day. My mom said if she went to the kitchen window, it was staring at her. If she went to the living room window, it was staring at her. I was telling the people at Ebony that, and I gave them that picture, and it's in the video. And they said, oh my gosh, Rhonda said they had an owl. And you know, Rhonda's father has passed. But there was an owl either at her lot or at the Burbank, wherever they went and stayed afterwards, that an owl has been there as well. And I was like, wow. And so I looked up like symbolism of an owl, but it was such a trip because owls are normally, you don't see them in the daytime because they're nocturnal and they're gone, you know, to sleep, right? Like our coyotes and all that, they go back where they have to be. But this owl was wide awake looking at my mom all day. And I kind of figured that was from my brother who passed away because it was in the tree that he planted. And then when they told me about Rhonda, I said, yeah. And that was her dad, you know, visiting her, letting her know like, you're okay. So we'll go through that whole video and everything tomorrow. And I'll get in touch with Stacy and Rhonda and see if they want to guest host with me or whatever and talk about that tomorrow.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
It's a touching video too. I made my way through it and it was just like, whoa, I knew your story, but even still hearing it again, it was just like, sheesh. And then hearing Rhonda's and Stacy's and her husband, that's great.
Yeah, it's tough. It was tough to watch all last week and it took me hours. They didn't watch it for about 2 days and they finally did, but I watched it last night and I made it through. I got teary-eyed, almost like I am now, but I did not cry. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, I think folks would enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, that one and even our Team Rubicon one that I did that was up at the lot even before, because this one is the lot cleared, right? And the Team Rubicon one was immediate where I found the yearbook picture and stuff was still there, but it's, yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, Anywho, we're an hour and 14 minutes in, so I guess we'll be saying toodles.
What?
They say peace. What is that, Brian? You look like an old man. Right, like not a grumpy old man, just an old man like he could barely move.
I really appreciate the fact that we was able to get through this unscathed. I'd like to thank everybody that used to hang with me at the Majestic. Thank you very much.
You see what I did, Jamal?
What'd you do?
Oh.
She always doing something, man. Like,
oh, Lord.
He said that's why he does that. When I mute him or something like that, he gets in his feelings and he goes in the back room.
I don't deserve to be muted ever. I am the comic relief. If you guys don't like funny stuff, then go find somebody that's got a stick up their butt.
Except for this morning, I was the comic relief when my brain was not awake, huh? Anywho, everybody have a great Monday. We'll see you all here tomorrow. We will go over at least that one video, and hopefully Rhonda and or Stacy can join us so we can kind of walk through it. It will probably be a very emotional show, especially if one or both of them join. But I think it's important to have these stories out there. If anyone has videos of any other stories and you want us to air them, please bring them on. I know Brandon just did something. I think Brandon Lamar had something recently. I know Heavenly, they had that film, I believe, that they took to a film festival. And maybe I'll have her come on and bring that or parts of it or whatever. But we can't let anyone forget about our beautiful town. We cannot let the federal government, the state government, or anyone else forget about Altadena, Pasadena, Sierra Madre, or Los Angeles, because this is a long-term project. Yes, we have several permits and homes, rebuilt, people living in them and others going up every day. But we're here for the duration. Hi. Everybody's walking behind Jamal this morning. But this
the bonnet patrol.
I know.
I used to have ghosts in the machine where my last location.
Well, that's because you had folks going in the refrigerator and stuff. That was hilarious. Look, the other one just walked by. Love it. But we have vowed to be here as long as it takes, right? Until we have recovered. And if anyone needs to get in touch with us, there is the AltadenaTalks.org podcast guest /podcast. How come I can't say that? Podcast guest, if you want to actually come on the show and talk about something. But if you want to email us or send us something so that we can share it, like the announcements that Jamal does, you can also do that. And then Brian is showing down below the podcast guest. He wants you to donate.
No. Yes, past that. Yes. You see that little ticker
down below?
Yeah, tick on your phone some money to that. That would help out. We always need help. Trust me.
Anyway, info.
Well, what? That's what it's there for. So people can see to donate. I'm always going to push that.
But what do we need donations for? That's the thing. We need to make sure we're saying what we need donations
for. Go to our website and read up on why we need donations.
Thank you.
AltadenaTalks.org. That's if you want to send us stuff.
So that's it.
We just had Mr. Monet. I can't even. Somebody, please, can you guys give us like the phonetic sound of how you pronounce your user account on Instagram?
Mr. Molet.
I don't know. We want to say your names right when you appear. We don't like disrespecting.
That's correct. And then Chaz Lynette, I believe, was also joined. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, we'll say toodles. Have a great week or a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.